Okay. Um, I don't know what happened. It had some sort of it just stopped recording. I don't know exactly what happened. Guys, I apologize. It just popped up with some sort of said encoding error or some crap, and I don't know if it was on my end. I don't know if it was on YouTube's end. I don't know. I apologize. I'm going to pause here for just a few minutes, let people get back in here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If you wouldn't mind, maybe tweet out, let everybody know that it's back up and going. Fears my router. Yeah. I don't think that's a concern. I don't think, and we're going to get into why he's not a concern when it comes to IT stuff. Again, I guess I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was like my end or YouTube's end. I mean, who knows? It's YouTube, right? Anyway. So anyway, like I said, I'll just give just a few minutes, let it kind of everybody get back in. Like I said, if you wouldn't, I don't necessarily like doing this, but if you wouldn't mind, maybe tweet out, let everybody know that there was a disruption in the matrix or some crap. Anyway, we're back. Cause I really want to try to finish this up. Get this over with and done, because honestly, once I'm done with this, I have no intentions of addressing or talking or dealing with any of this ever again. I want this to be my, what they call that, like, there's a fancy word for it, but I'm not a smart man, so I don't know. Anyway, let's see. I think we're probably back up to about where we were at. So let's just let's get into it. So, I was going over the because I actually had some DMs with Alpha Russ. So Alpha Russ had invited me to come onto a stream and talk about this. And this was back in April, right? This is April 23. And he sent me a Discord. Like I said, I just don't get in Discords anymore. There's very few that I actually maintain an actual connection to. But anyway, and I told him, I said, sorry. I told him, but have a great stream. I cared nothing about, what he was wanting to talk about. And then he came back and wanted to ask me about the whole Dove situation. And I said, sure. So, cause I'm pretty sure that there's a vast majority of people in chat that I've had conversations with, either publicly or privately in a DM or whatever. I'm not that hard to get a hold of. Yeah, I've got tons of DMs with, Discord people asking me questions about, sometimes it's technology questions, or sometimes it's just this, that, whatever else. But I'm not that hard to get a hold of. I probably will be going forward. Cause once again, you got people that wants to run good things, I guess. I don't know. And that's not to say that, talking to me necessarily is a good thing, or that, I have the right takes on stuff. I don't. I have bad takes all the freaking time. But he was asking me about the whole Dove thing, whatever. And basically I was just going on about how, what was it? She admitted to doxing and that, and the whole situation around that. And then he was talking about, maybe talking about whatever. And I said, well, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. And then back when I got doxed or whatever, he reached out to me, I guess, or whatever. And you can see, I didn't ever respond to that. So, and saying it possibly was at Milltown or whatever, which it wasn't. It was that other idiot. So that's it. That is the entirety, to my knowledge, of any kind of communications or interactions with Alpha Russ. Was he asked me to come on a show, and I said no. He asked me about a story that was at the time, which was the whole Dove and association and the doxing and this, that, and whatever else. And I said, She admitted to it. I don't know what else there is to really, to say on that. But again, because it was dealing with doxing, I was like, because I was like, I was always of the mindset that if a person got doxed, you do what you can, to get the dox removed from offline to help the person, right? But what you don't do is signal boost. You don't go in and I just, but evidently that was not the right way to handle things either. I don't know, whatever. So that was that, right? So that was that. Now let's talk about the number 41. Remember, I told you guys put a pin in that number, right? Well, why should we talk about the number 41? Well, here's why. So let me come up over here. I'm gonna go to this here, and then we're gonna bring up this screen because I want it. I want this as viewable. Then this is D-Max's video that he put out last night, right? 250 views in 9 hours. Hey, that's good for a channel that would lay dormant or dead basically for 6-7 years, whatever it was, something like that. So good for my friend D-Max. Okay. So we've got some comments in here. Let's see. Oh, so Slug comes and says, long video, I'll watch it later. Good to see D-Max making content, lol. Then he comes back and edits and says, after a thorough review, 4 out of 10, lacking context, twisting narratives, good jokes, but I'm waiting for when I make women drink piss. I guess that's, because of Savo. Yeah, okay, whatever, right? Yeah. Long video, I'll watch later. Good to see D-Max making content, lol. After a thorough view, 4 of 10. After a thorough review, 4 of 10. 41 minutes, 18 seconds. Well, let's take a look at something here. Here is Slug's stream from last night. He streamed for a total of 10 hours and 20 minutes yesterday. Last night, this was the time he had been watching, going over the documentary, over the Boogie documentary, right? Because when you stream for 10 hours, I mean, you've got to have something to watch, I guess, and talk about, right? So let's see how much of I'm going to crank this really up. We're going to put this on slug speed, which is like 2x. I know I talk slow, but holy crap, right? So let's just take a quick perusal of this. So
there's a video on me now. That's going to be interesting. So D-Max makes a little video. Good 41 minutes. Who is Angry Slug? So makes up some stuff of that. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Again, this was all shit that I've covered. Lack of associations. Now, I get that D-Max did not like the fact that I said he associates with Alpha Russ. I get it. Malding over numbers. Damn, it's almost like I'm joking, by the way. But that's fine. Who is Angry Slug? He's wanting to just bring up points that I've already said. Salvo on Slug stream. Cope. Disavows Salvo. Blah, blah, blah. Threatens family and friends. Oh, boy. Let's see this part.
Anyway, but in this clip, remember, Slug says this.
Wait, why am I judging? I got Steve to leave.
And yes, for those of you who don't know, Steve believes in the content creator again. Polar telefish, problematic guy, I don't know anything either. I'm so terrified I just found everybody talking about this video. Okay, this is the Monday roll round tonight. Check out this screenshot. This is a screenshot.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, remember, I was the one that posted that. This is all old shit. Bro, this is all old shit. Ha! Oh, yeah, Lucid, trust me, it's fucking wild. This, blah, 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 blah. This was me sending that to Rob by Jane, as she asked.
Shut up, Slug. Friends of mine.
Let's see, then, he plays the CJ recording, which is fine. I posted that recording. Let's see, made for each other, in conclusion. Me showing up on Chris Hansen show. Blah, 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 the Chris Hansen shit. It's a nothing burger. Slug angry, making stuff up. Grr, rawr, grr. Yeah, no, it's pretty much a nothing burger for me. I've heard all of this shit before. Oh my.
And guys, would it shock you if that was his extensive research? Extensive. That's it. That's it. Look here, you see me scrubbing. That's it. That's it. He doesn't. And then he brings in sin, right? He brings in sin, and then sin and him start going over. It's 41 minutes. They start making a big deal because it's 41 minutes. 41, 41, 41, 41, right? And that's it. That's it. That was his extensive. There were several times that he actually tried to watch certain sections of it, actually do some research, do some diligence to see the points that were being made by D-Max. But Sin and he had some woman in there with him as well. They wouldn't allow him to even watch the little segments he wanted to watch. He couldn't. He wasn't allowed to watch the segments on his own stream. They would not allow him to do so. Now, so again, he's afraid of the R word. Research. Research bothers him. Research eludes him. I don't know if he just doesn't know how to do it. I don't know. But he comes back and he writes the initial, matter of fact, let me see here, because I think he edited it. I don't think I know he edited it, because yeah, because his original, hang on here, let me do this here, open in browser. But yeah, let me go back over here to this here, right? Because this was his original post. That was it. Long video. I will watch it later. Good to see D-Max making content. And then he came back and he edited it sometime later and put the other in there. But the thing of it is he didn't. Did D-Max go over and use stuff in the past? Yes, he did. Why? To show and prove, right, that there was never any type of change, right? That he has a repeated history of everything. And to show, right, and I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but there's a lot. If you go look at the title, the actual title, let's just see. What was the title again? Where is it at? The title of D-Max's video is Angry Slug and Sabo Pancakes Should Be Friends. Well, that should give you a hint of why he went into Slug's past, right? Right. For all these things that, quote, Slug has addressed and how it's a nothing burger. Well, it's not a nothing burger, right? Because you don't understand the context of what the video was even all about, right? You didn't. You just said, oh, he's using the all these old things that I've already addressed, whatever. But no, because you didn't research. You didn't listen, right? You just were dismissive of it because you had that squawking little parrot in your VC with you, seeing that was squawk, 41 minutes. What do you do 41 minutes? 41 minutes. Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, so let's go and let's talk about something else. Because when I was looking into and doing some research into this, right, because I research actually, I'd forgotten, because there's always stuff constantly going on, right? And so some things you just kind of like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal. It still isn't really that big of a deal, but it is something we can look at, review, and we can laugh at, right? So what I've got up here on screen here. Okay, hang on. Here was let's see. Why is that? Okay, there we go. This is a video that Nicholas DiOrio did back in 2020. So this is over 3 years old now, right? This is a video that he did, and the title of the video is Chris Hansen's newest associate is insane. Angry Slug Productions. Some of you guys may not be aware of this, but at one point in time, Angry Slug, right, had a direct connection, a direct line to Chris Have a Seat Hansen, because Chris Have a Seat Hansen career was over with as far as television, right? His television career was over with. So Chris Hansen decided that he was going to do a YouTube channel, right? And he was going to do the whole To Catch a Predator type thing on YouTube. He was going to become, the next big YouTube star. And that whole thing was a diabolical mess. It was just crazy. And then the thing is he actually got connected and tied into Slug. Now, some of you guys may not remember this, or some of you guys may not even been around and in the community when all this was going on, right? So, anyway, let's listen to some of the stuff that Mr. DiOrio had to say about Slug.
Well, there's a YouTuber who's named Angry Slug Productions, and he's garnered over 1,000 subs on YouTube, and he makes some interesting content. He's obviously got some very good thumbnails. We're going to have to talk about this guy really quickly. I don't want to really spend too much time on here, because most people who are following me on Twitter already know about this. But, as most people probably know, if you've been following my social media, Angry Slug Productions recently got that big follow from Chris Hansen. And who is he exactly? Well, Angry Slug Productions is a self-proclaimed hacker who gets really upset when you call him a cosplayed hacker. But
a cosplay hacker, right? So let me go over here to my notes here. Please bear with me, okay? Let me scroll down here. So, a cosplay hacker. And where did we get this idea? Where did Nick get this idea that Slug was a cosplay hacker? Well, we scroll on through to the video. Here we go. Boom. So in this section of the video, this is a Discord call with Slug, Aiden. Some of you guys may know Aiden, and somebody named Drew with a P. Now, what had happened is Slug had kind of been going back and forth with Nick and a few of the other guys, and he was basically acting like he was this big time person now, because he was directly connected to Chris Have a Seat Hansen. And he had Chris's cell phone number, and they were on the phone talking, right? Have your people call my people, Chris. Yeah. Slug has people. Call my people, Chris. And so anyway, and by the way, Slug actually went on Chris Hansen's show a couple of times and was, talked about things, right? The Onision, that whole situation, right? But anyway, so Aiden gets into a call with Angry Slug. And the whole purpose of getting into it was because Angry Slug had an axe to grind, and he wanted to take down people like Nick DiOrio and not Kristen Hart, Augie RFC. And he put out some tweets and stuff on Twitter saying that they were tied to the Ku Klux Klan, that he had all this damning proof, and it was juicy information that he had and all this stuff, right? Well, where did he get all this information? Because we already have established that Slug is afraid of the R word, right? And, but you know, as a hacker, right? As someone who's a hacker, you know, to be a hacker, you have to research. You have to do research on your target. You have to be able to get in there and find vulnerabilities and way to exploit them. And the only way that you do that is by doing research. So let's listen to the research, because here comes the research.
Like, I've dealt with people like, Nick before. They don't scare me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see this?
Yo, you really should be
It's not
next
loading,
time,
hold on.
because I'm a lot smarter
No
than
worries.
you.
You might need to, if it's in a window, you might need to like move the window around a little bit with your mouse.
Oh, by the way, right now, what you're not seeing on screen is he's trying to use screen share. He never will actually be able to figure it out.
So here's the thing. This masterful hacker, this grade A hacker, could not figure out how to operate screen share inside of Discord. Let that set in, folks. This hacker, right, could not figure out how to do screen share. So let's listen to some of his credentials on why he is a hacker.
Cut it out because I didn't want to show you what servers Aiden was in.
Here, I'll switch it to a window. Yeah. It was WordPress. Like, I'm certified in CompTIA A+.
Wait, time out.
Like,
This is...
I'm
He has hacker credentials. Time out. I
He
went
has
skip too far.
Yeah,
Greg
he has,
did?
yeah, listen to this.
Yeah. It was WordPress. Like, I'm certified. He lost his website, by the way.
Greg did.
Yeah. It was WordPress. Like, I'm certified in CompTIA A+, and in CompTIA A+ is a hacking certification where I personally specialize in social engineering. Hey, Snowball.
So CompTIA A+. So what did I okay, bring this to get that off there. CompTIA A+ is a hacking certification. Well, would it shock you guys to know that I have my CompTIA A+ and have had ever since the late, see, when did I get that? Probably early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s. I don't remember the exact. It was early, like I said, it was like 98, 99, up to like 2001, 2, somewhere in there. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I have my CompTIA A+ certifications. So does that mean I'm a hacker now? What exactly is CompTIA A+ certifications? Well, funny you should ask. Let's go over what a CompTIA A+ certification is. So this is CompTIA A+. CompTIA A+ is the industry standard for establishing a career in IT, right? So, IT journey starts here. CompTIA A+ appears in much more tech support job listings than any other IT credentials. Guys, in a nutshell, right? All CompTIA A+ is it's an industry certificate, right? That says that you possess the basic knowledge of how to be a help desk technician, right? That you know, or a rudimentary field technician to where you're going out and you're doing repairs on PCs, maybe doing some server repair, knowing how to do basic operations within server OS. You might know how to do a little bit about doing some remote management through SAS. or you could, help that end user connect their printer and print. Okay. It is not this big hacking certification. It is a very entry level, basically to tell potential employers that you have the wherewithal to be able to do basic IT entry level work. That's it. Period. Okay. And here's the thing. I'm not crapping on anybody that has a A+ certification. I've got an A+ certification. I've had it for freaking 20 years or something, right? But it's the bare minimum. It's basically just saying, I know what a computer is. I know the basic wherewithals, in and outs, how to get in and do some basic rudimentary troubleshooting. There are actually other certifications that if you are, quote, a cybersecurity, right, which is really where the, quote, hacking falls underneath, right, because you have what they call white hat hackers and you have black hat hackers, right? And, so there's certifications out there that companies that if you're in the cybersecurity field, there's certification stuff that shows and proves that you not only do you understand that whole cybersecurity field, but that you also understand the ethics and morals of having that knowledge and how to use it, right, in the proper manner, i.e. white hat, right? The certifications like, let's see, the CompTIA Security Plus, which is an industry standard. You also have what's called the CISM, or Certified Information Security Manager. There's the Certified in Risk and Information Systems Control certification, or there is the Certified Information Systems Auditor. There's also another one. What is it? It's you can do pen testing. There's lots of different things that you can get, right, to be able to get and be able to show that you are not only do you have or possess these cyber skills, right? Social engineering, that's pen testing, right? That you possess these skills, that you possess these abilities, right? But you also know how to do it ethically, that you know how to do it in a manner as not to cause distress and other things in people's lives. Now, the thing of it is this, right? With Slug, if we go back 3 years ago, when he was bragging to Aiden about being CompTIA A+ certified, which is a hacking certification, which it's not, which I've shown and proven, right? Because again, like I said, lies, that's what he does. He tells and he manipulates and he does these things to try to make him look more important than he is. And he hopes that if he can tell it long enough and he can tell it with enough conviction that people will believe him and take him at his word, right? Because again, the whole R word is problematic for him. But Slug was not always this way. As far as he wasn't always this brazen and doxing and stuff, right? Because there was a time when we go back in time and we look. And we look at poor little Slug here, right? Let's see, get this off of there. This is a video that Slug had made about 3 years ago. And this was after he had appeared on Chris Hansen's show, right? Where he, quote, had infiltrated Onision's private stuff. He had social engineered his way into his Discord server. and stuff, right? Turns out that he had photoshopped a bunch of stuff and passed it off. And
suck your own butthole. You're doing great.
Definitely Slug. Excuse me for a dollar. Says, excuse me, people. I'm now employed by the Pentagon and I'm going to hack you big time. Hack away. Because I got the same certifications that you had. Or at least you said you had. And in the end of the day, it really doesn't matter squat. But anyway, let's listen to what poor little Slug, because he's just a little guy. Remember that, guys. He's just a little guy, right? Having buyer's remorse because we have a saying here in the South, right? And what Slug did was he allowed his alligator mouth to overload his jaybird ass. In other words, he was all talk, right? All talk, hot air. Let's listen to what little Sluggy had to say. Whoops, wrong video was still highlighted. Let's go try this again.
Hello. This
Hello.
is something I really don't want to do, but
Well, then don't.
I have to.
Okay.
Due to me showing up on Chris Hansen's show, I have dealt with doxings, harassment, people calling my university, saying things that I am a threat to society.
You are. You've proven that. Your track record going forward from this moment in time, right? How many people have you doxed? How many people have you harassed? And I know you could justify, you say, well, Steve Live was doing this and doing that, right? I guess that whole, here's the thing. Here's just a thought, right? If somebody was doing something that was truly criminal in nature and was truly destructive or whatever, did you ever think of possibly going and letting law enforcement handle and do things, right? Because his whole thing was this.
Suck your own butthole. You're doing great.
Definitely Slug tips another $1. Says, don't you ignore me, totally legitimate hacking threats. I will expose you in D-Max's sexy conversations. There's nothing to expose. D-Max and I have sexy combos. What's the exposure? Pigeon Salad, member for 2 months. Thank you for your continued support. Says, after figuring out the extremely complicated task of being able to screen share on Discord, I'm going to be submitting an application to Anonymous. There you go. Evidently, because if you can share an application within screen share within Discord, you can beat Slug, because Slug did not know how to do it. And I guess he hopefully figured that out. I don't know, but let's listen to what happened to him.
A threat to the campus.
You were a
and
threat.
Making so many false claims.
False claims, kind of like all the false claims that you made against everybody. So when your chickens came home to roost, all of a sudden you didn't like it, right? You put all this stuff out there and all this stuff came back at you, right? And he's just a little guy. All of a sudden it started impacting his real life. People found out who he really was. And then all of a sudden they start calling his university. They started, and here's the thing too, right? And I hate to be this way. Honestly and truthfully, I do really hate to be this way. I'm not even for sure this was real. This here could be bullshit. That he could have just been doing this because he just didn't like receiving some of the same treatment that he had been giving people online. Maybe his university was really caught. Maybe they weren't. Guess what? Hang on. Is that a tear? Nope, no tear. Sorry.
While I do agree that I should not have gone on Hansen's show, because
How about you should not have been out there doing what you were doing? Lying to everybody. Trying to portray yourself as a big shot when you're not, because You're just a little guy. How about just being somewhat honest? Just a thought. Just a thought. But again, because your ego, right, was writing checks that your ass couldn't cash, right? And you're out here saying all these... Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Because I really didn't bring anything of benefit.
Well, we can agree on that. You've never brought anything of benefit. Now, that's not to say that my show brings anything necessary to benefit either, right? But I never pretended that it did. I just come on here and try to have some fun, try to have a few laughs, try to entertain some people. Maybe I used to try to highlight a few other creators, try to signal boost them. Can't do that anymore. I still have intentions, and I'm still planning on doing my philanthropy and trying to help streamers and creators that way. You know, for how long? I don't know, who knows, right? Who knows? Because you have people out there that are so miserable, with their lives, right? That it's not enough for them to be miserable. It's not enough for them to have, a horrible existence. They got to make sure the people around them have horrible existence as well, right? Now, look, let me say this again in closing. I do not condone, I do not support doxing, period, of anybody. I don't care who they are. I don't condone the doxing of Slug or his parents. I don't condone the doxing of Salvo. Salvo, of all people, I don't condone the doxing of. That's why I ended any type of interactions with Slug, is because he doxed Salvo to Why So Demented, right? And that's why the whole thing is you're trying to spin this narrative of guilt by association. And then that's why supposedly, let me put it real clear and succinct. I never directly spoke about the whole Huggy situation, which is where a lot of this is coming from as well. I personally don't care who Huggy associates with. I don't care who he gets in VCs with. I don't care whose streams he appears on. I don't care who he has as mods in his chat. I don't care who he has in his Discord, who he has conversations with, who he does streams with. I don't care. I am not anybody's guardian. I'm not anybody's parent other than my own two sons. And they're grown men, and I sure don't even tell them who to associate with anymore, or who to. But just like I don't associate with Slug anymore, and I don't have anything to deal with Slug, I don't deal with him. I don't have anything to do with him. So if Huggy wants to hang out with a confessed doxer, repeated confessed doxer, right? That's fine. Knock yourself out. But that shows me that, and again, I got to point fingers back at myself, because at one time I associated with Slug. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I wound up with egg on my face. Okay. I learned, right? And probably the difference is when I learned I just don't have anything to do with him, right? But when Huggy was asked about that, he said, just because they do something like that in the future, he would not hang out with them anymore. So, okay, fine. That's your morals. That's your ethics. That's your standards. That's cool, dude. It's not mine. And so what it all boils down to is this kind of a thing of preferences and stuff, right? I prefer not to hang around people like that. So I'm not. And evidently that's guilt by association. Okay, fine. That's what you want to label it, then fine. It's guilt by association. But it's like, how many times does somebody have to continuously do horrible things before it's not so much, oh, well, they're not a bad person. They just did a horrible thing, but they're not really a horrible person, to where you make the logical connection of, it's not that they're not a bad person that did a bad thing. No, they are a bad person that does bad things. You know, is it after 3 times, 4 times, right? 5 times? How many times does it take before people say, okay, maybe he really is a bad person. Maybe we really shouldn't have anything to do with him, right? That's for you to determine, I guess. But in the meantime, don't be surprised if I'm not so hard or not so easy to get a hold of anymore. That maybe I just won't communicate. I won't have anything to do with you because I have to question your judgment a little bit. But I'm not telling you can't hang out with them. I'm not telling you can't associate with them. I'm just saying I'm not going to have anything to do with you. Period. I don't know why that was so hard to understand. I don't understand how that concept was not easily to grasp. I thought it was pretty straightforward, but evidently there were some people that couldn't understand it. They couldn't grasp it. So, anyway, Slug, you got what you asked for. You got me to address the situations. You got me to address the allegations. Prove that you didn't do research. Prove that, once again, you do what you always do. You just keep throwing stuff out there and keep stating things in the hopes or attempt that if you say it enough times and you say it with enough bravado and you say it with enough conviction, that people will believe you. And the sad thing of it is you've got a small little inkling group of people over there around you that believes and signed off with it. And I guess good for you. But I think I've shown definitively that I don't will never support doxing for any reason. Even you, Slug. But just because I don't come out every time something happens and start pounding on my chest saying, doxing bad, doesn't mean that I don't think doxing is bad. I will do what I can, silently, quietly, discreetly, to have that information removed from the internet. But I'm not going to get out here and, do fanfare and have a parade and say, hey, look at here, this person was doxed. This was, so, why would I signal boost that shit? But whatever. Again, different opinions on how to handle things, I guess. I don't know. Listen, guys, I know this was not our typical morning, coffee and just kind of laugh and have some. We did kind of laugh because let's we're quite honest. He's easy to laugh at, right? Because he's. But I apologize for the technical difficulties and that this VOD will be in 2 separate streams. I hate that. Not necessarily excited about that. But it was beyond my control, whatever. Guys, all I can say is go out and maybe, I don't know. Why is my wife texting me? Okay, I'll get it in a minute. Try to be decent to each other. Have some fun. I don't have a problem with poking fun, busting balls, razzing, busting humps, all that. I don't have a problem with that. But do we have to be? Just don't be a slug. There's no. Let me wrap it up in a little bowl. Don't be a slug. Sarah Sausage, 2 months. Thank you for your support for 2 months. As a fan viewer of you, Peepaw, and many others in the space, I am 1,000% looking forward to getting back to coffee with Peepaw and mainstream CC. Yeah, me too. This was not exactly entertaining and fun for me. This is a drag emotionally. And would have preferred not to have done it. But again, like I said, go check. If you haven't watched D-Max's 41-minute video, do so. It's really good. It's very entertaining. It is a quintessential, what I would call a quintessential commentary video. He does a very good job. I think he brings out some very valid and poignant points and criticisms. And I think he makes a very good argument on why, even though Slug has disavowed Sabo now, because Sabo has confirmed that I guess he's a doxer too, that maybe they, rather than disavowing someone for doxing Slug, maybe you two could find a way to be that two peas in a pod, because there's so many similarities. Same boat to cloth and all that, But anyway, go check out D-Max's video if you haven't seen it. It's really good. Real close here. We've got 14 days, 2 weeks. We're at $317 of the $500 goal. We are really, 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 really close. We definitely are going to have 3 nights of the 5 Nights at Freddy's game. So there'll be 3 nights of 1-hour sessions of me being tormented, jump scares, all that. If you want to see what that, if you check out my gaming channel, right? We did 2 or 3 hour session the other night where we played D-Max and myself, my buddy Tara, and my youngest son. We played Phasmophobia for 3 hours. There was a lot of jump scares. There was a lot of insanity that occurred. It was pretty wild, pretty crazy. Had some fun. Check that out. And but yeah, right now we definitely gonna get 3 hours of Strictly Patrick, $5 super chat says we could get back to funny now, right? Right? Please pay more cabal fees. Yeah. So yes. Now, so tomorrow morning we'll be back to the Peepaw Gaming channel. Yeah. Okay. Let me hang on a second. I'll get you that channel. Hang on a second here. Well, where's it at? Oh Lord!
I can still do it, and I'll whip it out when I need to.
Well, we'll whip it out, baby. Whip it out, because that's what I would do. Do I have it linked? Of course not. I don't even have it linked to my own thing. Hang on a second, guys. I'm trying to find it here. Jeez. Here we go. Here we go. There you guys go. There's the link. I'll have to go in and get that fixed up in the bot where you guys can type in a command or something, whatever. And so anyway. But anyway, there's the link to the gaming channel. I've got a few games out there and stuff that I've done streams on or whatever. Like I said, but that's where I'll be playing the Five Nights at Freddy's. And so like I said, we definitely have 3 hours of gameplay. So anyway, that link is to this stream. No, it's not to this stream. Get out of here. What? Why did it? Oh, God. All right, hang on a second. Why did it do that? Oh, D-Max did? Okay. Thank you, D-Max. I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody's out there helping me. Lord knows I need a keeper most days. But anyway, yes, tomorrow we'll be back to the normal laughing at, Waffle House fights and other idiots and stuff out there. And no more of this. I really don't. I don't really like doing these type of games or type of streams, but I guess he got his wish. He wanted me to address it. I addressed it. So there you go. Slug, are you happy? You tweeted and tagged me in enough of your flipping videos to where you got what you wanted. You got me to respond to it. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy with my coverage of it. Remember, guys, doxing bad, encouraging good, doxing bad, laughing at TikTok videos good, doxing bad, laughing at fights in Waffle House good. And on that note, remember, guys, keep your powder dry and look for me in the funny papers.